The question is, should Alameda City Council shift from the current at-large system to district representation, or perhaps even to a hybrid of both systems? Here's a little background. California cities can elect their city council members in one of three ways. At-large, which is what we have now in Alameda, our city council members are elected by and represent the entire city. Another method is district elections, in which council members are elected by and specifically represent different parts of a city, such as Alameda. Now, there could possibly be a hybrid way, which I won't discuss much, but it is a possibility, which would have some council members representing specific districts and others representing our whole city. So here are some questions and comments when considering whether our city should be interested in switching from at-large to district elections. Number 1, accountability and focus. Who would you like your city council member to be accountable to? You and your neighbors, or the entire city? Number 2, geographic representation. Would you prefer that the city council be geographically representative of our city? Or would you prefer the freedom to vote for candidates from any part of the city, even if they happen to be geographically clustered together? Number 3, as I mentioned earlier, a hybrid system is a possibility. Perhaps you would prefer a hybrid system of selecting both district and at-large city council members. Number 4, minority representation. Racial and ethnic minorities usually stand a better chance of being represented on city councils and commissions that have district elections. Number 5, voter turnout. Interestingly enough, there is mixed evidence about whether district elections affect turnout. Number 6, demographics. In the country as a whole, at-large systems are more common in more affluent, more racially homogeneous communities, while district systems are more common in larger urban areas with socioeconomic and racial diversity. Also, district systems are more common in cities with strong mayor systems, while at-large voting is more common in cities with council-manager type systems, and that's across the country. Now we turn specifically to California and to Alameda to ask, should we consider to move to district elections? As of 2 years ago, 59 of California's 482 cities, so roughly 1 in 8 cities, elected representatives from districts rather than at large. In the following 2 years, about a dozen more cities were considering such a change. Most were doing so under threat of lawsuit relating to the California Voting Rights Act of 2001. This law speaks to the issue of minority representation and vote dilution within at-large voting. District elections are the most often used remedy for an alleged violation of the California Voting Rights Act. And I do want to say that the League held a forum some months ago talking about this issue of district elections and some of its ramifications. So let's look at some of our own cities' demographics. Using the current census estimates for Alameda's population, which is 78,000 plus, the racial breakdown is for white, under race, white is 48.1%, Asian, 31.5% of our population, Black or African American, 7.5%, and the remainder is Pacific Islander, American Indian, and people of 2 or more races, which is 12.9%. So that's the racial breakdown for Alameda. In terms of ethnicity, Hispanic or Latinos total 11.5% of our population. Of that 11.5%, 6.4% are Mexican, and the remainder, 5.1%, are Puerto Rican, Cuban, or other Hispanic or Latino. So in summary, the pros of district elections are that running for city council could become more accessible, thereby broadening the candidate pool. Council members elected from districts could possibly be more responsive to neighborhood concerns. Shifting to district elections could help protect the city from a California Voting Rights Act lawsuit alleging racially or ethnically polarized voting. The cons of switching to district elections are that shifting to district elections does not fully mitigate the influence of money in council races, and I know we'll be having a presentation shortly on more about that issue. Also, district representation could make it more difficult for council members to reach consensus on citywide issues. An ineffective council member could leave a voting district without the same level of representation as people in other voting districts. And finally, district elections do not guarantee a council whose overall ethnic and racial makeup appropriately reflects our city as a whole.